Hello. Oh, fringe has gone a bit wonky. Oh, let's see who's in tonight. Nobody so far. I'm all on my own. All alone to be alone. Oh, that's enough singing, Janet. You put everybody off. Well, hello. Nobody's joined me yet. I hope I'm public. I sometimes forget to do public. I sometimes leave it private, which is a bit silly of me. Oh, hi, Pauline. Hey. How you doing? How you doing? You're the first one in tonight. Hi, June. Oh, I've got all my wool in a tangle, all round my feet and everywhere. Hi, Nathan. Oh, gosh. What are you doing, Janet? How to get your feet wrapped round your wool before you even start. Oh, Lars. Got me knitting. I've done the back and the front. And I've done the neckband. So I'm on to sleeves now. So I've got my bit of paper with my increases and my rows written on it, because you know I can't do anything without. So here goes. Here goes. Hi, Judy. Yeah. It's just telling me I've gone live. Well, at least it told me I've gone live early enough this time. Usually it tells me I've gone live about an hour after I start. Yeah. Hi, Designs by Jeannie. Hi. Well, I'm all on my own today. They've gone away in the camper van and left me. And I've got metal needles, so you'll hear me go clickety-click. Hi, Lydia. So I'm afraid I'll be clickety-clickety-clicking. It used to drive my ex-husband nutty. The sound of my needles clicking. It used to go, oh, do you have to do that? You have to do that. It's the most annoying sound in the world. And I thought, no, your voice is the most annoying sound in the world. But we won't go there. Hey, yeah, there's nobody here but us chickens. They've gone away for the weekend in the camper van and they've taken the doggies. Yay! So I don't have to sleep with a dog. Hi, Lisa. She's only a little dog, but my God, she's hard to sleep with. She pounces all over you and wanders around all night long. Oh, you love the needles clicking. The me Knit Pro. Zing. Hi, Esther. The weather, it was freezing when I woke up this morning, but it went absolutely gorgeous in the afternoon, yeah. I don't swear. What do you mean I swear? Hi, Rick. I do not swear. Well, I do sometimes, but not often. Well, I don't swear online anyway. I might swear in private when people get me aggravated. But I don't usually swear on the channel. Hey, my lady. Your power is out and you're preserving the phone. Oh, poor you, Jane. I hope your power comes back on before we all go away. It must be awful to get power outages. They get them a lot, don't they, in America? Thank goodness we don't over here get many. Or if we do, they don't last long, yeah. Mind you, something's gone on with me Alexa. I wanted it to play music and it says, I'm sorry, I'm not connected to the router. I thought, oh, I'm not going there. I'll leave it till Arian comes back and he can sort it out. I'm not unplugging me. Mind you, Ian the other day come downstairs and said, is your internet on? I said, well, I hope so, because I'm watching YouTube. He said, well, ours isn't upstairs. And he started faffing about and fiddling about. And then he said, oh, it's all right now. So maybe he's the one who's disrupted my Alexa Yeah. It's funny, it's in my bedroom, and whenever I listen to Denise Deer, you know, in Deer Designs, she always asks Alexa to do something. My Alexa goes, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that command. She asks it to turn lights on and things like that, which I don't have mine, you know, to do things like that. Mine just plays music. Well, it sort of plays music. It wants you to join that channel thing where you have to buy to stream the right music that you want to listen to. I'm working on a sleeve. Yeah, I've done the back and the front. I've actually done the neckband too. So I'm actually working on a sleeve now. Look at that. Yeah, I'm on a sleeve. Only the first sleeve though. Don't get excited. It should have been long finished because he's chunky. But I don't know why. I've been so tardy with this. I think the needles are actually a bit too big. They're 8mm, I think. I think they're 8mm. Yeah, 8mm. They're actually a bit big for my fingers. Ephraim was saying the same thing the other week. He was saying he doesn't like knitting on very big needles. My knitting is very uneven when I'm on big needles. It's a good job it's got a pattern on it. It will even up a bit when it gets washed. So we'll see how we go. I want to get it finished, then I can start something else. You know me, and I don't like having too many things on the go at once. This is the only thing I've got on the go at the minute. I haven't got any crochet on. I'm thinking about crochet, but I haven't got any on the go at the minute. Oh dear. I haven't been in the shed. I haven't moved all the stuff. I did a video showing some of the crocheting on my mannequins today. Before it goes back in the shed, I might swap the mannequins over and put them some new outfits on tomorrow. You know, take advantage of the fact that they're not back till Monday. I can't carry those bags across to the shed. They're a bit too heavy for me. Yeah, I like the Susan Bates hooks. I mean, it's all a matter of preference, isn't it? Some people like the inline shape, which I do, and other people don't. Other people like the more bullet shaped top of the other, the boy, is it, hooks? Some people prefer that with I call them like a bullet top, when they're quite fat and chunky at the top. I prefer the inline hook. It's just the way you crochet. As I said before, I'm never one to say, oh, you should be using this or you should be using that. Hi, Chris. Yeah, the clover hooks to me, there's not enough of the hook bit. There's too much handle and not enough hook for me with the clover. Kelly used to use the clover. She used to like them. As I say, it's all a matter of, you know, how you hold your hook. There's several different ways to hold the hook and, you know, how you crochet, really. I'm never one to say, oh, you've got to be doing this, you've got to be doing that. As I said before, everybody has their own method. You know, even when I'm teaching anybody how to crochet, I always say, look, you'll find your own way. You don't have to do it my way. Well, I use the one with the bamboo handles, Chris. I have used the ones with the soft touch with the Susan Bates. So I've just got used to the wooden handles. As I say, it's all a matter of preference, isn't it? It's like you're tasting food. It wouldn't do for us all to like the same things, would it? You know, if we all like the same taste, wouldn't life be boring? You know, I mean, even with knitting, there's different ways. I can never master that continental. I can do the knit bit, but I cannot do the purl. Yeah, I think I would understand what you mean with that, Lydia. You know, if your hook's not very defined when you're pulling them through a load of loops, they tend to drop off, and I've just dropped a stitch. Luckily, it was on a pearl and it wasn't on anything important. I hate it when I drop a stitch. Oh, if it's lace. If I drop a stitch on lace. Well, you finish up taking rows back, don't you? Because you can never get it right if you drop a stitch with lacy patterns. At least it was just an ordinary pearl stitch and it wasn't a cable or a twist stitch. These needles are a little bit pointy for me because I must push the needle down unconsciously when I'm knitting like that and like that. I then push the needle down with my point, and after a while my finger starts hurting and I keep thinking, why is my finger sore? Oh, I'm hoping it's nice and cosy. I'll have finished it in time for summer, won't I? When I could have been wearing it when there was all this bad weather. Yeah. I might go out tomorrow. I might treat myself to see if I can get myself some lunch out if they're not here. I don't really like going out on my own, sitting with lunch for one, but you know, there's not an awful lot in the house. There might be in the freezer, I don't know, I haven't looked. You're having a wild part. Well, actually, I don't have neighbours because I'm detached, so I don't think anybody would really hear, unless the music was too right. Ooh, do you know I had trouble with my teeth this afternoon, and I've still got trouble with my teeth. Unless it was too riotous, I was going to say. I couldn't get my words out on my video today. I was getting all my S's mixed up. I don't know. Take over the snug. There's no room in the snug. I've told you, it's full of a great big whopping settee, sofa, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I got a woman on a comment on one of my videos saying, "Why do you always say American, you know, as opposed to British?" I said, "Well, the words are different, so I just clarify. If I say something like chips, I'll say, oh, French fries if you're in America." And she was saying, well, why do you always say America? And I'm like, well, I'm just trying to clear up something that, you know, you might say a different word to what we say. I wasn't meaning anything by it, you know, I wasn't picking on the Americans or anything. But she seemed to take a bit of, in fact, she wrote it all in capitals, you know, and I thought, oh, she's shouting at me here. Shadrade. Yeah, we're still waiting to see pictures of his shed. Sorry, not his shed. I'm sure we'll get pictures eventually when he gets himself sorted. He's probably gone fishing anyway. It's that season, and he was talking about what was it? Some kind of fish. I don't know what he's talking about. Some kind of weird fish. We don't have them in England. See what I mean? I mean, we have different words. We probably do have the fish, but it's probably not called what Shad calls it. You know, so you find you have to explain the difference in the comments. Because to say we're supposed to speak the same language, we don't, do we? You know. Oh gosh, now my wool's gone in a tangle. Do you know when I started this ball of wool? I started it from the middle, and this great big clump came out, but it was all in bits. It was all about a yard long. I don't know what that was all about. wasn't even one big lump. It was all tiny little bits. Yeah. Do you think she was picking on me because I was mentioning America or what? Or was it just me that thought that? You know, I thought, was she taking offence or something? I don't know. But with her putting it all in common, capital letters, I thought, oh, I'm being shouted at here. Or maybe she didn't notice she was doing it in capitals. We shall give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not one for causing aggravation. I'm quite a peaceable, loving person. Mm. No, I don't know whether she took offence because I was explaining different things, but we do have different words. It's nothing, I didn't mean anything nasty by it. It's just that we do have different words. And if I say something that's like British, I always think, oh, the Americans or Canadians. Well, I don't know about Canada because Canada, yeah, different, aren't they? They're more British, aren't they? But I know the Americans have different words. I mean, I've learnt more through being on YouTube. When I used to be younger and read American books, I used to wonder all the time about biscuits and gravy because biscuits to the Brits are cookies. And I used to think, why do they have cookies and put gravy on them? I could not understand that bit at all. It's only like as I've got to know more things about different countries that I realise that, cookie, what do you call them? Biscuits are not like, cookies and gravy. Our gravy's brown as well. Your gravy is like a sort of a whitey grey colour. It's all completely. We may speak the same language, but we don't really, do we? It's just things get changed, I suppose, over the years. People adapt things. Yeah, there's lots of different words, but as I say, when I say two different things, I don't mean anything nasty by it. I just mean to clarify what I mean to anybody who's not UK. That might think, what's she talking about? Yeah. Hi, Haley. It's no, I think it's actually all acrylic. It's Signet Boho Spirit. That's what it's called. If you look it up, it's Signet, like like in swans, Signet. Yeah, that sunflower blanket. It looks as though it's going to be gorgeous, Haley. You're so clever. Cookies and gravy. That's what I thought it meant when they said biscuits and gravy. When I used to read American books when I was a girl, but I didn't. I mean, obviously there was no internet, and I didn't know. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, I forgot to increase. You didn't remind me, did you? None of you. Oh, my head keeps going dead. It goes more dead when I'm knitting. I think that's why I don't knit as much as I should. Because my fingers go dead. I was so cold last night, I went to bed wearing them great big microwave mittens. I was in bed with my big microwave mittens on, trying to get my hands warm. I was so cold last night. Because when I have the fire lit in here, I'm lovely and warm. And then when I go in my bedroom, it's cold. But it tickles me because when I lived on my own before, I never had the heating on in the bedroom, yeah. I know I had a friend that was Scottish and she came down and she would ask for Pope-sized steak or something, whatever that might be. And the butchers down in the UK would be going, what? Yeah, the Scottish people have a different word for different things, even though we're all part of the UK. A Swede, no, it's sort of like a turnip. Do you know, I was thinking the other day, I wish I hadn't given away my sleeping bag. No, a Swede, it's more like a turnip, I think. My daughter-in-law loves things like that. She puts them in all the stews, Swedes and turnips and stuff like that. Yeah, this, yeah. Some people call them baps as well, Kaylee. The rolls or the cobs or the baps or the what? Now you're thinking about the Muppets now, aren't you, Chris? The Swedish chef in the Muppets. The hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy. Irene used to love him in the Muppets. The hurdy-gurdy. Oh dear. Oh, my fingers are gone numb. I don't mind mashed swede with carrots, yeah. I don't really care for swede on its own. Scandinavian slang. Oof, nah. Oh, we've got lots of slang. Oh, hello, Ethan. I'm just cabling for a minute before I lose my cable needle. If I cable slackly, I lose my cable needle. If I cable too tight, I can't move the stitches. Bubbler and sweet. Bubble and squeak, we like. I like bubble and squeak. That's potato with anything that's left over, like cabbages and stuff like that. Men are very good at taking the mickey out of you. Take the mickey out of him. He's a Londoner. When my dad was in the army, most of the people he was with on his, I don't know what you call them. In America, they're a platoon, aren't they? I don't know what they are in England. Corps, I think they are, aren't they? Most of the lads he was with were from London. And he was always taking the mickey out of them. When they say drawing or chimbley instead of a chimney. They say it a lot on the television as well, drawing instead of drawing. Oh, clickety, 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 click. Yeah, chimney. Chimney. Where'd you get a chimney? What gets me is aluminum. It's aluminium. You miss a whole chunk out of it. And caramel. It's caramel. You miss whole chunks out of words sometimes in America. What the heck is caramel? Yeah. Now, my granddad used to call it water, not water, water. He was broad Lancashire. Dost thou want to drink a water? Do you want to drink of water? Dost thou? It's amazing how accents are. they're changing, sadly. I think it's all to do with more people watching the TV and stuff like that. You know, it's everybody's local dialects are all being flattened and they're all being the same now. It's a shame because at one time Yorkshire and Lancashire were really pronounced differently, and you could tell a person where he came from. You know, from the accent that he had. So unless you're like from the northeast or Birmingham or something like that. God, Eliza's 20. Oh my God, I feel old now. Good evening, Denise. I was just talking about you in a nice way. I'm just saying every time you talk to your Alexa, my Alexa tells me that he doesn't know what I'm talking about. When you say, Alexa, turn on the lights, mine goes, I don't understand what you're talking about. Yeah, I usually watch Denise when I'm trying to fall asleep, and I usually fall asleep before I finish. It's not because you're boring, Denise. It's just I always seem to watch you when I'm tired and I'm on my way to sleep. I never watch one of yours in one fell swoop. I always have to watch it in bits because I've nodded off in between. If you hear somebody. Oh, you love my knitting needles clicking. It used to drive my ex-husband bonkers. Yeah. He used to say, go over there. I can hear you clicking. Go over there. Or put your knitting down. It's annoying me. But these click more. I'm getting used to them, Hayley. I must have a habit of pushing the needle down with my finger. I keep getting sore finger ends with these. So the jury's still out a bit with them. Your Alexa does the same thing. Yeah, you tell Alexa to turn the lights on or something, or dim the lights, and mine goes, I'm sorry, I don't understand that command. Now, the Knit Pro circular ones, if you watch Sheila's Knit and Natter, she doesn't like the Knit Pro circular. She said where they're joined together to the wire, they keep sticking on her wool. I don't know whether they clip on or what they do, but she wasn't very impressed with them. So I don't know what they're like. I don't know whether anybody in here's got the Knit Pro interchangeable circulars, but I know Sheila wasn't impressed with them. But that's just one person, isn't it? As we're saying, one person likes one thing and another person likes another. Yeah. Hi, Connie. No, she was having a moan. You've never had a problem, Denise. See, that's what I mean, Hayley. It's just people's different opinions, isn't it? I don't know why she found there was a bit of a catch, you know, blip where the needle was joined onto the wire, Denise. But maybe she just got a faulty batch. Yeah. I mean, you would think that if there was. Oh yeah, Aero. That's the ones that Ephraim loves as well. I've got some Aero needles, but not a lot. My mum, that's what we used to sell in the shop. We only used to sell Aero. And I had loads of them, but now. Oh, you know somebody else with that problem? Yeah. I know Sheila from that. Sheila's Knitting, whatever it's called. She didn't like them. But I don't use the circular, so I can't comment. As we were saying before, you know, one person likes one brand, another person likes another brand. It's all very much personal, isn't it? I can't knit on circles. circulars. I call them worms. I can't knit on worms. Because I knit with my needle under my arm. You can't exactly put a circular needle under your arm, can you? It's just the way I was taught how to knit. Some people said it's a northern way of knitting. I don't know whether it is or it isn't. Yeah, do you know, I threw away all my aero circular needles that I had at the shop because nobody wanted them. So sadly, they all went down the tip, Hayley. And they were all aero as well. I had every size and every length. Yeah, we all, I said there's no right and wrong way with crocheting. People crochet the way that they feel comfortable with. I mean, I get told off because I throw me wool when I'm knitting. I throw it or something. And it leaves it to twist and tangle up, yeah. Yeah, I tried to give them away and nobody wanted them, Hayley. It just shows how things change. Back when I had my shop, I could not sell circular needles. Nobody knitted on them. And nobody knitted garments on a circular needle. It was unheard of. They were only ever used to knit a skirt or knit a neckband or a yoke on a sweater. Nobody knitted a sweater on them. And there was no such thing as top down. It's how fashions have changed, how things have changed over the years. I mean, I had cashmere in my shop at one time and I couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted it. I finished up, I sold it off at rock bottom prices because nobody wanted. No, the family are away. Last time I heard from them, they were at some Ribble's Head Viaduct or somewhere. That's where they were last time I heard from them. I don't think they're staying there. I think they were just visiting. They're up in Yorkshire somewhere. Everybody, I mean, I can't do continental. I can technically do the continental knit stitch, but I cannot do the purl. The continental purl looks very falutin to me. But when I watch people who knit on the circular needles, they knit very slow to me. Yeah, they've taken the dogs as well. I used to use my mohair with double knitting, and make it into a chunky. That way it's easier to knit and it's not so fluffy. Yeah. Yeah, they've got a camper van. Oh, getting messages here. Yeah, it's only a small camper van. It's not a big one. Hello, the word be true. Hello. Yeah, it's not a big camper van. It's only for the two of them. I mean, they'd have a push to do a fortnight in it or something. But they're all right for just a few days. I think they've done a week in it once. My mum used to knit on little tiny needles when she was doing bands, for button bands and buttonhole bands. She used to knit on them little kiddies' needles. I think they're about 6 inches long or something. Yeah, it's okay for the two. I mean, the dogs don't take up much room, yeah. You knitted them with circular needles, Jean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, knitting hurts my hands, unfortunately. Mostly because I will keep pushing the blooming things down with my finger. And then I wonder why my fingers hurt. I didn't realise I did it until these are quite pointy, if you see what I mean. They're quite lethal, like a dart. You love me wallpaper. My daughter-in-law hated it. She wanted me to have grey. or beige. I mean, me, a grey or a beige person. Like, no. Oh, you're such a baby, Nathan. You're only one. In 1987, I would have been, oh, let me think, about 40. About 40, I think, in 1987. I had to think then. I can't do my maths. Hi, Lizzie. You would have been too. Oh, yeah, when you have to, well, it's what you call, I call it tinking, when you have to unpick it stitch by stitch, because you can't just rip the row back like you can with crochet. And you have to tink it back stitch by stitch by stitch. You were 19, I was 40, I think, in 1987. Can't do maths in my head. You know what I got in the post yesterday? A letter from Pure Cremation. Are they trying to tell me something? Hi, Susan. Yeah, Pure Cremation letter. I thought, excuse me. Somebody's sending me. Do you know that phone never makes a muff unless I decide to make a video or I decide to come on YouTube, and it goes diddly-doo, diddly-doo. Or it does if I go to knit club. If I go to a knit club, it starts doing that. And it always does it when I'm in bed. Oh, you get things from the Neptune site about cremation. Yeah, I'm knitting the sleeves of a sweater. It's a chunky one. I put it down ages ago and I left it, and then it took me ages to pick it back up again because I couldn't remember what row I was on. Yeah, I hate that one when she goes, I've been thinking about my funeral. I don't want one. I'm like, ugh. In the afternoon, it's like that as well. It's either cremations or it's going on about remortgaging your house. Yeah. Hi, Claire. You like bamboo worms? I can't knit on worms. I really can't. I have to have one needle under my arm, otherwise I'm struggling. I'm going to put it down for a minute. It's making my finger ends hurt. My needles are too pointy. I've got my plastic ones that I knitted the back and the front on, but I don't want to swap in the middle. In the middle of a sleeve, it might alter the tension, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, RSPCA, PDSA, or Water Aid. What else do we have? Donate to a child in India, prevent him from poverty. I mean, gosh, we had all the money in the world. You couldn't donate to everything that they asked you for. Hi, Bobby. Me clickety-click needles. Yeah, they're hurting my fingers and my hand. I'm going to have to put them down for a bit. Put them down for a little while. Because my finger ends are hurting. I'm getting old. I'm getting knackered. I'm getting knackered. Well, I've got knackered, let's face it. Right, I've just done an increase, so we'll leave it at that for the minute. Hi, Lulu. You're listening silently. Yeah, I've done a bit more. I've been knitting this afternoon as well. That's why My fingers are hurting, so I'm having a break for a minute or two while I get my fingers back to normal again. Oh, you're knitting a baby's hat. Oh, oh, my thumb. My thumb is hurt. Getting old, having arthritis, it's not funny. Oh, I saw it, yeah. You're very famous, Hayley. If nobody's seen Hayley's cushions, she's done those, like, the Persian tile from Jamie Crow. And she's more patience than I have. I wouldn't even made one square. Hi, Ruth. I knew when I got the book, Hayley, I would never use it. And it sat there and I show it to everybody. And everybody's like, is it on Instagram? No, she's on Facebook. Hayley. Yeah. Crocheting hurts me other thumb. And knitting hurts this thumb. Oh dear. Oh, I would have never used those books, Hayley. Never in. I would have just looked at them and said, "How pretty are they?" and put them on the shelf. And I would have never used them. So I thought, no, don't just put them on the shelf like you do with them. I've got loads and loads of books that I buy, look at them, and think, well, they're very, very nice, but I can't think there's anything in there shall ever make. And then I put them on the shelf and I forget all about them. Hello, Lama. If you knit and crochet, you're very welcome. Yeah, it's arthritis, getting old. Yeah, it's a curse of the wet weather. It's been a lot worse since I moved to Fleetwood because it's wet, more, well, wind and damp from the sea. Yeah, people say, "Oh, it must be lovely living by the sea." It's not. Oh, yeah. You can't do anything about it. You can't even put any cream on it or anything. It doesn't seem to work. I did have a roller ball that Jill got for me at one time, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Is it? No, it's not. No. Jill gave me a roller thing for my arthritis. I've nearly used it up. Ah, there it is. I think. Is it? No, that's eucalyptus oil. I can't find it. I thought it was on the desk, but obviously it's not. I've probably knocked it down the back. Oh. Oh, I found it. It's underneath. Oh, I found it. A little bottle. No, I've got an appointment with my GP for the end of the month, but there's not much they can do, only give you painkillers. And I don't like taking painkillers because they make me go. Make me go a bit doolally. Not that I'm not doolally as it is. I am doolally as it is. Yeah, it's one that Jill made. Fibre Floozy. She made it up for me. It's a pain reliever. It's just got different herbs, I presume, in it, but I've used most of it now. I put it on my finger ends because I'm not knitting at the minute and hope that it does its stuff. You're drinking wine. No, that's not too good, is it, really? Having said that, you know, I've got Coca-Cola, which isn't good either. Oh dear, no, it won't rub in now because it's on my finger ends and they're so dry. So I've got wet fingers now. Look, it's all gooey. I'll rub it in the other hand, it won't do my other hand any harm. I take them at night, otherwise I can't get off to sleep. Yeah, Coca-Cola. Oh, I was drinking full fat. It's a painkiller that Jill made for me. I don't know what it is. She sent it me. Keep away from your eyes, yeah. No, Jill's not on here yet. She might come on later. She usually pops on. They're going to Stirling Castle. Ooh, nice. I don't drink very often, although having said that, what do I have at my feet here? But Southern Comfort. And I've got a can of Coke. Oh, yeah, there's 49 people in here and only 18 thumbs up. So, excuse me, hint, 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 hint. Yeah, Jill sent it to me. Yeah. Oh, they don't. I've had sore ribs since I was coughing. I'm sure I've done something to a rib. But all he did when I went to the doctors was he just said, "Oh, you haven't got a chest infection." And he's made me another appointment to, oh, thank you, Susan. He's referred me to, I think he thinks I need an orthopedic, what they call them, orthopedics. They won't do anything. All they'll do is give you more painkillers. They won't do anything. Nothing that can be done when you've got arthritis, really. There's no magic thing that they can wave, you know. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Lynn. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can't cure, isn't there? And arthritis is just one of them. You can get painkillers, but all they do is numb you. I have got a fuzzy brain, and I think a lot of it is because I do occasionally take, um, you know, painkillers, and they do make you fuzzy. They really do. I don't care what people say; they make you fuzzy, and they make me tired. If I take painkillers, I would. If I took them now, if I'd have taken any before I came on here, I'd have been nodding off by now. Yeah, because I was up too early this morning. I knew I was up early because it was cold. Normally, by the time I get out of bed, it's warmed up a bit. But with the family not being here, I just, oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. When you get to my age, you sort of don't know which bit hurts more. But I'm not on my own. It's just an old age thing, isn't it? You know, I think anybody who gets into the late 70s like me and hasn't got arthritis, they're blooming lucky. You know, because it's just a curse, isn't it, of the older people. Oh, I try not to, Ruth. I take enough pills as it is. You know, for your diabetes, your this, your statins, your cholesterol, your whatnot. Oh, Lord. Rattle, rattle. Well, my dad always used to say that there's plenty in the graveyard. Wish there could be you. You know, so stop moaning. Yeah. You just put up with it. It's kind of all part of the course, really. I don't think I'd, nearly everybody I know that's my age has got problems with knees, elbows, you know, some bit of them, some bits falling off you. I think you're very lucky if you don't. Yeah. I don't, yeah, they put me on statins, and you query, why have you put me on statins? Ah, but it's because of this. And once they put you on them, they won't take you off them. Getting old's fun, isn't it? It's really fun. And while we're on this happy topic, let's talk about something else. Oh dear, otherwise it'll turn into a dwelling on our ailments channel. There's enough of them about without me starting. Oh, they can have mine if there was a shortage of status. They can have mine, Ruth. I'll donate them to a cause. Yeah. You've had a rough week. Well, if you're only young, it won't be arthritis, whatever it is, Rick. Yeah. I hate taking them. I really hate taking painkillers. I take them when I have to. I had a flare up earlier this week. I mean, I was a bit down, as you know, a bit depressed about different things that were going on. And I also had a flare up. I don't know whether they were connected or what. So I had to take my painkillers, and I was right in a fog all week. Yeah. Yeah, they can have my statins if they're desperately short. They can have mine, yeah. Oh God, sometimes mentals are worse than physical. I know I'm talking about my marriage here, but we're going to not talk about awful subjects. Yeah. A heat pad's wonderful. It is. In fact, it's got a heat pad on this chair, but it's not plugged in for some reason or another. Got an electric chair, folks, but it's not plugged in. And it goes zzz, zzz, up my back as well. And I don't know why it's not plugged in. It's one of those that plugs in like that and it just gets... Oh, just take a deep breath and chill, Rick. It's over. Done. Nobody was killed. It's over. I know it's annoying, but just take a deep breath. Oh, I don't know where I've lost my plug-in. I've got the bit there, but I haven't got the plug from the electric chair. Well, it's plugged in. Don't know why it's not working. Oh, you'll always get one. Let's talk about craft. Oh, my wool shop. I loved it in the wool shop. I really did love my wool shop. It was like living in cuckoo land, really. Everything was sunny. I never thought it would end. And, it was a lovely time of my life, apart from me being married, but we won't go into that. But, yeah, I worked with my parents. We had a few discussions along the line. As you ever work with your parents, it's easy to have discussions. And my mum was always right. She was Mrs. Always Right, yeah. And, no matter what she'd done, she would never admit it. And I used to say to my dad, why don't you call her out? Why don't you say, look, Lucy, you're wrong? Yeah, it's not worth it. Not worth it. I have to live with it. You send it off a small knitted hat. Who are you sending it to? If it's red and white, don't send it to a hospital. They don't like red and white. Yeah. I always feel sorry for anybody who's actually called Karen. My friend at school, it's spelt like that, but her mum was German and she used to pronounce it as Karen. She was called Karen Dixon, not Karen Dixon, Karen. And I always thought that was the way you spelt it. It was only later in life that I realised people pronounced it as Karen. Yeah. Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, Karen she used to be, because her mum was German. Her brother was called Gregor. And her other Sister was Gertrude. I mean, oh, can you imagine a young girl being called Gertrude? But they used to call her Trudy. Gregor, Trudy, and Karen, yeah. They don't. Well, they don't like red and white flowers in hospital because it's something to do with, um, like blood and bandages. It's an old-fashioned thing. My mum always said you should never take red and white flowers to a hospital. Um, yeah, blood and bandages. That's what my mum used to say. Don't ever take red and white flowers or red and white anything to a hospital. It's blood and bandages. Yeah, it's maybe old-fashioned. I don't know because my mum was well, she wasn't a nurse. She was a St. John's nurse. She used to help out during the war. Yeah. You never heard it before? Oh, yeah, they're very superstitious, some people. Yeah. It's an old-fashioned thing. I don't think it bothers these days, but if it's somebody that's round about the age of sort of 80, 90, even 100, they would say that. Because my mum would have been 100 plus, I think, now. Yeah. Yeah, green car. Oh, it's like red and... Was it blue and green should never be seen unless there's a colour in between. That's what my mum used to say. And yet they put blue and green together now. They don't bother, do they? Yeah. Well, my mother was full of sayings. A whistling woman and a crowing hen will bring the devil out of his den. That's if I was whistling. She used to say, don't whistle, don't whistle. And don't whistle in the house. Couldn't whistle in the house. That was, yeah. And no umbrellas up in the house. You couldn't dry your umbrella up in the house. No. No. You had to put it into the sink to drip that way. You can't put your umbrella up. It's bad luck. And you cannot put shoes on the table. You put, especially new shoes, if you put new shoes on the table, that means they will never be worn because something will happen to the wearer. Yeah. Oh, my mother was full of it. And my dad was, you can't do 3 lights off a match because if you were in the war, if you did 3 lights off a cigarette on one match, the sniper would have you in its sights. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of superstitions. Yeah. And you had to touch your collar, isn't it, if you see a funeral, is it? Or is it if you see a magpie, you've got to see 2. It's unlucky if you see one magpie. I grew up my whole life with superstitions. Yeah, yeah. You know the paving stones where they've got the gaps? If you tread on a nick, you'll marry a stick, and an earwig will come to your wedding or something. Oh, Lord, we were full of them. It's a wonder we ever grew up. Yeah. No, it was open. If you opened an umbrella indoors, that's very, very unlucky. Oh, Lord, yeah. My mother was full. Yeah. And I've lost my horseshoe. I told Irene I wanted my horseshoe put above the shed door, and I don't know what he's done with my horseshoe. I've had my horseshoe for donkey's years. I found it, and they said it was lucky because I'd found this horseshoe. And I had it above my house in Mountside. Yeah, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret, never to be told. Yeah, that's the magpie one. You say hello, Mr. Magpie. Yeah. It was the same with a funeral. You had to hold your collar or something when you saw a funeral. I don't know why. You had to hold your collar. Until you saw a 4-legged dog, that was it. Yeah. Why a 4-legged dog? There wasn't many 3-legged dogs around when I was a kid, yeah. Oh gosh, I've never heard of that one, Tina. Mainly because there's no fishermen's, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I had it here because I brought it here. And I told my son to put it above the shed. You see a magpie on its own, yeah. Oh, you always took your hat off, didn't you? Well, if you were a man or a guy, or if you were a girl wearing a bonnet, you always had to take your hat off and stand. And my mum used to draw curtains. If there was a funeral we lived on a very long road. If anybody was being buried on our road, my mother would always draw the curtains. Yeah, I don't know. I've not heard of that one, Lydia. No. Hi, Katie. Oh, you had to bless yourself. If my son's thrown it away, I'm going to kill him. It won't be my son who's thrown it away. Oh, that was it. You touched your collar. I thought it was you touched your collar till you saw a four-legged dog. So you'd be running around. Right, there was loads of dogs that used to roam about back in the day. You know, people didn't have them on leads and things like that back in the day. They used to be roaming around all over the place. Dogs and cats never lived long when I was little because they were always getting run over. Because nobody ever took them for a walk. Just open the door, let them out. Yeah. You're always stepping in something, weren't you? Oh. You don't walk over 3 drains. I used to always get my stiletto stuck in them drains, them little grids. You'd be walking along trying to be all chic and then your shoe was about 2 foot behind you because it had got stuck in a drain. The number of times I scraped the leather off a stiletto. Not stepping on drains, yeah. Can't step on a crack in the pavement. No. Oh, you stepped on a crack. Step on a nick and you'll marry a stick. I think you see when a earwig will come to your wedding or something. Oh, times have changed, yeah. Oh, yeah, that is unlucky to see the bride dressed before the big day. Very unlucky, that. No, I can't wear any heels. I gave them all away to a hostel for homeless women. Bagfuls of the high heels I used to wear. I had them in every colour. Big high heels. Old dears used to say to me, oh, you'll regret it when you get older. You're going to have a bad back wearing those heels. I wore them all the time. Big, big heels. They were right. I have a bad back. Bad hips. No Crocs with socks. Oh, I don't like. You know, those like, we used to call them Jesus sandals. And if you're religious, I beg your pardon, but we used to call them Jesus sandals, you know, what the men wear. And they used to wear socks, but not white socks, sports socks. They used to just wear ordinary socks with them. And oh, no. Oh, dear. Yeah. Yeah, hippies used to wear them, didn't they? Those, what I call Jesus sandals. Oh, yeah, if you knitted the boyfriend curse, yeah, if you knitted a sweater. I've done that a few times and lost the boyfriend, yeah. You remember the crepe soles brothel keepers, or am I too old? The teddy boys used to wear the crepe soles, big soles like that. They used to call them brothel creepers for some reason or another. Oh, dear. Sandals with white socks are not as bad as wearing sandals with your ordinary, everyday men's socks. That is... Oh, yeah, it's a curse that if you knit your boyfriend a sweater. I've knitted about 3 for boyfriends and lost the boyfriend. Yeah. I never made anything for my husband until I married him. I never made anything when we were engaged. I've got to itch my back. Sorry, people. Oh, I wore the platforms. Oh, winkle pickers. I used to wear winkle pickers, yeah. Oh, itchy back, itchy back, itchy back. Oh, I used to wear big heels all the time. I used to work in them. All day long, walking about in work in these heels. Never thinking about having a bad back or bad knees or bad hips when you get older, yeah. Oh, it might be the curse of death if you make him one, Haley. Unless you want to get rid of him. Oh, dear. My mum used to say to me, oh, no, don't make your boyfriend a sweater. No, don't. Winkle pickers are very pointy toe shoes, stilettos, but they go right to a point. And you had to stuff the ends with cotton wool to stop them curling up at the end. Otherwise, they'd be like Isle of Genie slippers, wouldn't they? Oh, dear. I used to wear winkle pickers, yeah. White ones, which are even worse. They're like, what did they call them now? Essex girls wear white shoes, don't they? Yeah, I never had bunions and I never had corns, touching wood. Even though I wore all these silly shoes back in the day. Yeah, winkle pickers, they went right to a point like that. And they had stilettos, heels at the back, yeah. Pointy toe shoes. The men used to wear them as well. And they had big feet to start off with. That's what I mean. I can't understand why I've not got bunions or corns, yeah. And skirts that tight. We used to wear tight skirts, yeah. And the bus guard used to say, upstairs, girls, upstairs. And we used to have to bunny hop up the stairs because you couldn't get your legs up like that because your skirt was so tight, yeah. You had to hop. But we thought we were the bee's knees, yeah. I don't think we're doing much crafting. We're doing a lot of talking, Katie, but no. Yeah, pencil skirt, but they were really tight, yeah. I used to have a white coat. It was like a polar bear. It was fur. I must have looked like I mean, I was only tiny back in the day. I wasn't big like I am now. But I must have looked like a great big white polar bear wearing it. It was fur, like long fur. I loved that coat. My mother hated it because she spent a fortune having it dry cleaned every other week. Yeah. You call them road stompers? No, I've not heard that. No. Ours were winkle pickers. Yeah, if guys had big feet, they used to look like clown shoes because they'd have these huge feet and then they'd have these points on the end, yeah. uh, oh, dear. Yeah, I must have looked like a little white polar bear. I thought I was the bee's knees with that coat. My mother did not want me to buy it. Well, her to buy it because I was still at school. And I begged and begged and begged, and she got it for me. And I thought I was the bee's knees, but looking back, I better look like a big fat elephant in it. Oh no, I did have knickers on. I'm just going to have a drink now. Oh, I used to wear pencil skirts. Back in the day, I had a figure. And we used to wear those world bras, you know, like Madonna wears, where they're circular stitched. Used to have points at the end. Oh, dear. But I did have a waist. I was only tiny back in the day. What shoes with a pencil skirt had to be stilettos, high heels. You never, I mean, girls today wearing trainers with a pencil skirt. Ugh, what do they look like? No, I used to wear those dresses a bit like Jackie Onassis used to wear. Very, very fitted, you know, with darts. Because I was only tiny. As I say, I wasn't fat at all. Oh, you've got to wear stilettos. You can't wear trainers. Trainers and a pencil skirt, to me, no, that's tacky. And I'll be so glad when them ripped jeans go out of fashion. What do they look like in them jeans? Oh, God. I had a suede coat once when it was all fashionable, before all this vegan stuff and you don't get things from animal stuff. I had a suede coat and I got caught in a thunderstorm and it stunk like an old cow. It was, and I had to get on the bus and everybody's going on the bus and it just stunk horrible, my coat. Oh, and I was sat there trying to look as though it weren't me, you know. Oh, do you remember the lavatory pan heels? The ones that went like that and out again? I think they called them Louis the 14th or something. They had a phase for them. Yeah. Yeah, we used to call them lavatory pan heels because they went in and out again. Oh, oh, I haven't got. It stunk like an old cow. It really stunk. And I was on a crowded bus and it was wet through and it stunk. Oh, it faded when it dried. But when I went in the house, my mum was going, "What's that smell? Have you stood in something? Don't be bringing dog muck in the house, you know." And I went, "Me goat." Yeah. The ankle stilettos. No, I used to wear the big, only ever a court shoe, really, just a plain court shoe. Semi-winkle picker and stiletto, yeah. And I used to love those strappy sandals with high heels. And my dad used to say to me, "How much have you paid for them?" "You're paying for the leather that's not there. There's only about 3 straps of leather on that shoe, and you paid that much for them." He must have seen you coming. He said, "You've paid for the bits that are missing." And I used to say, "No, the Clarks is the good shoes." No, Del Boy had, what did he call them? Sheepskin. Them sheepskin coats he had, didn't he? I never had one of them. I wanted one later in life, but I never had one. They used to smell as well. Big suede sheepskin jackets. Everybody wore them at one time, yeah. A stiletto. I did actually hit my husband with one once. I hit him with a stiletto heel. He was getting on my nerves. It was before we split up. No, the ones that sprained my ankle was those clogs. Do you remember Dr. Scholl or something? Those wooden clog things. They used to slide out of them. And they really, if you hurt, they were made of wood, weren't they? Oh. Oh, ankle boot stilettos. No, I don't like them, no. No, those wooden things. What was it, Dr. Scholl or something, were they? How was my aim? Oh, I hit him. Yeah. I got him with my stiletto. I just took my shoe off and I paid for it later. I used to have a lot of them, all them Dr. Scholl things, whatever they were called. They were supposed to be good for your feet, weren't they? That was a fad, weren't it? You had to grip onto them, didn't you? So you didn't lose them when you were going anywhere. Your toes were permanently gripping on the ends. The only things I can't wear are peep-toe shoes because my foot slides all the way through. And my big toe, I'm walking on the pavement with my big toe because it goes right through the peep toe. And then it cuts into where your toes are, doesn't it? I could never wear peep toes. You try them on in the shop and they look great, and then you go walking and your feet shoot forward, and yeah. Oh God, there was no inside grips. The leather ones weren't so bad if you were well off enough to afford a pair of leather ones, which I never was. Mine were just the plain old wooden ones. Yeah. My sister-in-law has extremely narrow feet. She can only get them from one place. I think it's ballet shoes, yeah. And yeah, I'm 77, word be true. I can't wear slingbacks. I've got no heel. You know, people have got a bump on the heel. My heel goes straight. So a slingback just falls straight down. Paper dresses? Were they really paper? Or just like crinkly like paper? Yeah. Senior, that rings a bell. I used to have a friend called Rita Senior. I used to be a 4, but I'm a 5 now because my foot's spread. Yeah. I wear the joys of hotter shoes. Hotter shoes do the wide fitting because I've got. And when I go to anywhere like a wedding, I long for something pretty, to put some pretty shoes on. If I do find pretty shoes, they hurt after about an hour or so, yeah. I lost my trainers when I moved here. I had a lovely pair of trainers, really comfy. And I refuse to pay the price of the trainers like that they are now because I don't walk anywhere. So I'm not paying, what, 80, 100 quid for a pair of trainers. And yet I don't like the cheapy ones, yeah. Oh, I've got me Doc Martens. They've got roses embroidered up them. Trouble is, it takes me ages to put them on because they're laced up to the calves. And it takes me ages to get get them on. I love them though. Huh? Yeah, what if it rained on your paper dress? Huh? Was it really paper? Or there was that crinkly stuff, wasn't it, that felt a bit like paper, but it wasn't. Can't think what it was called. I used to like the heels because, of course, I was only short. I always used to get the tall boyfriend. Used to really annoy one of my tall friends because she always got the short boyfriend. I always got the giants, yeah. Got the giants. 6'7" I went out with, and I was only 5'2". Yeah, I always remember him. Rob Savage, he was called. Not the Rob Savage, the footballer, cricketer, whatever he is. Not him, no. No, my Doc Martens were, I think they're about 150 or something. I didn't buy them though. I got them bought. I was 5'4", but I suspect I'm probably 5'2" now, Haley, because trousers that I wore last summer and dresses that I wore last summer are all too long for me now. I'm walking on the bottoms of them. And my son keeps saying, "Will you shorten that dress? You're going to have an accident." And but I keep asking him to get the sewing machine out of the shed because I'm blowed if I'm going to be sewing in that shed. It's freezing. I've got so many things I need to shorten. So I need the machine out of the shed. Now I think it's me arthritis. I think my bones just shrinking down. My poor mother, I mean, oh God, my mother, she was riddled with it. She had osteoporosis and spondylitis, and she, poor little thing, she shrunk. She used to keep saying she was 5'2". She was about 4 foot nothing by the time she passed away. Yeah, maybe so, but I was still this weight last year when I bought a couple of them, and they're too long now. And I'm like, it's a bit strange, isn't it? A bit odd. Yeah. And I have got a couple of new pairs of trousers that I need to shorten. My new one pair, they're like imitation patchwork, and they're like an old-fashioned flare. By the time I've shortened them, there won't be any flare left because the flare's all at the bottom. And I have to shorten them. Yeah, I've got spinal stenosis and osteoporosis. Yeah. Great, isn't it? We're back to ailments. I don't want to be younger, but I want the body of the younger person that didn't have all these problems, you know. Yeah. UK didn't get, maybe we did with the paper dresses. Maybe I just didn't. Although in the 60s, yeah, I would have been wearing the latest fashions in the 60s. But I was very much a hippie. So I was more into the, you know, the flowers and the long tiered skirts and the cheesecloths and stuff like that. I was more into that when it was the 60s. Embroidered cheesecloth, yeah. Yeah, paper dresses for the UK, yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I would love my back to be back to even 40. It wasn't that bad when I was 40, my back, yeah. I don't actually want to go back to being younger because, well, from about 45 onwards wasn't bad because by then I was separated, yeah. But up to 40, no, I was still married, so that wasn't a good time. I love the dresses that they used to wear where you had the waspy belts and women went in and then out again. I mean, I know it's not fashionable. You're supposed to say you're like sexist if you're saying that women used to get dressed up and look pretty. Now you're like, oh, you can't say that. Oh, I used to love the incense and the bead. I think this is where I get my love of beads from. And I definitely got incense burning all the time. Ah, and I love the, you know, the three-tier skirts, like, you know, the three-tiered skirts, four-tiered skirts. Oh, you're not feeling well? Has it really took it out? You stop worrying about it. Just put it out of your mind. It's over and done with now, Rick. Don't think about it. Oh, my daughter-in-law hates patchouli. Oh, yeah, I was born in 45, so I was kind of teenager, early 60s, really. I was a teenager. Oh, rationing, yeah. I didn't remember a lot of the rationing because I was too young. But it was still until 1952, I think, 53, they were still rationing. And, you just made do. I mean, there was never any fat people back then. Yeah. Well, you need to take a deep breath, go for a walk, take deep breaths, Rick, and calm yourself down. Don't keep churning it over and churning it over. Just, yeah, but that's nothing that you can control. It's not you. It wasn't you that reacted, it was them, and there's nothing you can do about that. You have to just think it's over and let's move on, and yeah. Yeah, everything passes. Yeah. Oh gosh. I wanted to be a boy when I was little. Not because I wanted to change sex, I just wanted to wear trousers and shorts because little girls didn't. When I was young, it was all dresses, and I used to want to play cricket and football, and I couldn't because the boys wouldn't let me. Yeah. My mother would not let me wear shorts. My auntie made me a pair of shorts, but she made them in pink gingham. I know dementia. I had my father had dementia, so I know what it's like. Yeah, yeah. There was only one fat kid in our class, and her mum and dad had a grocery store. So I rest my case. Yeah. So there must have been a bit of fiddling going on with the ration box there. She was. I mean, one of my best friends used to work at. Her mum and dad had a chip shop, and she wasn't a fat girl at all. And you would think that living in a chip shop, she would be eating chips or something. She would be fat. That's French fries if you're in America. I'm going to get told off for saying that, I know. But she wasn't fat. But we all ran everywhere. You never got a bus, did you? You never got money for a bus fare. You had to walk it. Oh, it's only a mile. You can walk it. You're young. Um, when people had more physical jobs back then, so I think um, they worked it off, didn't they? If you had a big meal, you worked it off, yeah. Your mum dressed you like a boy. I wish I was dressed like a boy. Only boys flew. Yeah, I don't think I flew a kite when I was young. There was distinct boys' games and girls' games when I was little. Boys played cricket and football. The girls played dolls. Yeah. You played house. You played dolls. There was no crossover point. We had distinct roles back in the day. You're a girl, you were on that side of the fence. You're only a boy, you're on that side of the fence. Um, that's the only reason why I wanted to be a boy, because I wanted to wear shorts and I wanted to play cricket and football. And I grew out of it. I grew out of it. And now I wear dresses. I don't possess a pair of jeans, and I don't possess a pair of tracksuit bottoms. Yeah, well, it's additives, isn't it? I mean, when I was a kid, everything was natural. There was no frozen food because nobody had a freezer. There was no prepared food, really. Everybody cooked from scratch, really. And I think it's what they're putting in the food. Why there's so many big people. I mean, I'm overweight. I'm hold my hand up, I'm overweight. And it's not that I eat piles and piles of food, but I eat wrong. And I do tend to eat something that's a processed food, which is, bad for you because you don't know what the heck they're putting in these things. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, everybody cooked from scratch. There was no alternative. Fast food was the chip shop back in my day. That was the only fast food there was. Um, you know, you just you, but there wasn't all the pressures of women to work and stuff. Oh gosh, there was never any sweeties in our house, no. And crisps, yeah, as you call them, chips in America. No, we never had bags of them in the house, no. Um, yeah, my mum used to buy occasionally a Mars bar, and they were quite big in those days, but she would cut it up in little pieces. And you had like a piece of it. You didn't have the Mars bar, you had a piece. I had to share it with my brother, and we had to make it last 2 or 3 days. It wasn't like you had half a Mars bar each or anything like that. No, you didn't. No. Like you say, you got given an apple if you wanted a snack, didn't you? There was no sweets. There was never, like you go in some people's houses and they've got a massive big bowl of sweets on the middle of the table. You know, the kids have got their hands in it all the time. There was never anything like that in my house, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it was porridge in our house or a piece of toast with a bit of jam on it. You know, occasionally a boiled egg, yeah. Um, Thinking about it, yeah. Oh, there was no. My mum used to get, you know, the big, massive stone jars that are now like collector's items, and it used to have dandelion and burdock in it, and the man used to come, the pop man, and it was only ever in the summer we got it, and it was about once a month my mother would buy this big whatever, and you were only given a little glass like that, little bit, yeah. Oh, dates, yeah. I used to get dates at Christmas in a box. Did you get them in oval boxes? And they were like on a stick, weren't they? And you used to pull them off. That was only at Christmas we got dates. I'm trying to think what we did for breakfast. It was either a boiled egg, one boiled egg, no, not loads, one boiled egg, or it would be porridge. But I think it would be porridge most of the time. Yeah, just porridge with a bit of golden syrup or something on top, or a little bit of sugar. Yeah. Yeah, we never had figs, but we used to have dates, one box of dates, yeah. And my mum used to buy one bag of nuts that were in the shells. And my dad used to have to go and find the nutcrackers or bang them with the hammer. Yeah. It's what they put in the food, all these preservatives. I mean, you used to buy day to day back in the day. You didn't buy for the week. But bear in mind, a lot of the women didn't work, or if they did, they only worked that the housewife shift or something. They didn't work all day. Not most women didn't anyway. And you know, they used to cook. Um, I can. Yeah, I still have porridge, but of course now I have the instant porridgey stuff, which has probably got a pile of additives in, and I should go back. I used to buy proper porridge when I lived on my own, but now you can't be bothered, can you, making it all in a pan? Oh, we never had sugary cereals, no, like sugar puffs and stuff like that. My mother never bought us them. And I didn't like the cornflakes. I think my mum used to buy bran flakes or something. There was this bran stuff, it used to look like little twigs. Mm. Yeah, yeah, my mum used to make it, but she used to make it with water. The porridge was made with water, it wasn't made with milk. Yeah. All bran, was that what it was called? It's like little sticks, wasn't it? Supposed to make you regular. Shredded wheat. No, we got Weetabix. I'm thinking back now. You've just jogged my memory. We did get Weetabix. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't have to do ironing until I got to be a teenager. When my mum got the shop, that's when I started having to do ironing and stuff like that. Do the shopping. When I came home from school, I couldn't start my homework because I had to go and do the shopping. And then I had to mind the shop, look after the shop while my mum went in and cooked the tea. So consequently, I was starting my homework like at 7 o'clock at night. And then my mum would be nagging at me at 9 o'clock. It was time for me to go to bed. And then I was always behind with my homework because other people used to go home and start doing their homework at 4 o'clock. Well, I couldn't do that, yeah, because I was, doing stuff. Yeah. No, that's not bad for a second marriage, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, the pillowcases. My mother didn't iron the sheets, but I used to iron the duvet covers when I was married, yeah, at first. Yeah, I had to do all the chores before I could do before I could do my homework. And then they used to wonder why I never finished my homework. And then my mum would be shouting at me because my brother was extremely intelligent, extremely bright, and he sailed through everything without any problem. I had to work very hard to get any of my grades. It never came naturally to me. But my mum could not understand how two children from the same womb weren't the same. Yeah. You're not like your brother, are you? You're not. Your brother would have had it done by now. But it used to bug me because I know he was much, much older than me and he was at uni by the time I was at grammar. He never did any housework. He never did any shopping. She never sent him for a loaf of bread. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my first thing I remember was I was 5 years old and I stitched my fingernail to the sewing machine. Right through my nail, right through the other side. Ah. But as my auntie, who was a tailoress, said, well, you won't do it again, will you? Yeah. Yeah. I think ours was all water. Yeah. All water our porridge, I think. But my mum, I think she used to put a little bit of golden syrup on the top, if I remember rightly. Or a little bit of sprinkle of sugar and a little bit of milk on the top. Because we used to get the full fat, obviously. It was all full fat back in the day. A little bit of milk on the top, yeah. Oh, mine was the mangle. If you know what a mangle is, a great big thing that you put the washing through. Because washing machines just used to wash and they used to come out wet. So you put them through the mangle and turn the handle, and I've mangled my fingers that many times. And it used to be outside and you had to clean it before you could start using it because, of course, the rain and the soot and everything would go all over it. And people used to knock on the door saying, Lucy, can I borrow your mangle? Can I mangle my sheets? Yeah. Yeah, I sawed my finger right through my fingernail, right through the other side. But as my auntie said, well, you won't do it again, will you? Yeah, sewing on a sewing machine at 5. Now everybody's nanny this, nanny that. Oh, they can't do that. Oh. My son used to be helping me make cakes. He used to be cutting his cheese and stuff with a knife. Oh, I mean, now they're, oh, it's sharp, it's sharp. They're 12 and they've not allowed a sharp knife. And I'm like, oh, give over. Yeah. Honestly. I didn't leave him on his own with a sharp knife. I'd be there watching him cut his cheese with his sharp knife, yeah. But if you don't let them do anything, how will they ever learn, yeah? Yeah. You're tapping out. Right, good night. Word be true. Good night. Now, I struggled a bit in school. I got good grades in the end, but it never came easy to me. I had to really, really study, yeah. Oh. When I married my husband, I gave him sprouts. And he looked at me and he said, what are these? I said, well, what do you think they are? He went, little cabbages. 23 years old and never eaten a sprout. Never seen a sprout. His mother's idea of a dinner would be mashed potatoes, cauliflower, and fish. Everything was white on the plate, no colour. And if it was peas, anything that came in a tin. Yeah, she used to do. Oh dear. Oh, roller skates, yeah. Man, we never actually got really to wear a pair of roller skates. You always shared them with your friend, and you had one roller skate each because you didn't have money to get a pair. Yeah. You shared everything, didn't you? It's kids today are quite selfish, I think. When you brought up with nothing much, you shared. If you had a bike and your friends didn't, you took turns to ride the bike. There was none of this, I've got a bike and you don't. You just didn't do that. You just let somebody have a turn of your bike. And, if you had a doll's house, then, you let them play with your doll's house and stuff. And, but now I think kids today are remarkably selfish. They won't let anybody play with their toys and they brag about what they've got. I've got more than you. And if some poor kid at school hasn't got the right trainers, they get picked on. I don't think any of us at school ever noticed what the other kids had got on their feet. You just didn't think about that. There was no labels on stuff. There wasn't Wrangler jeans and Levi jeans and stuff and things with a tick on and stuff. You just had clothes that your mum put on you. And there was none of this, I don't want to wear that, yeah. Um, people shared, yeah. Yeah, roller skates, yeah. I used to share my roller skates with a friend. She'd have one skate on and I'd have the other skate on, yeah. We used to have one skate each. We did that with everything, though. We shared everything. We shared when we got into dolls. I was never into dolls when I was young, but when I got into dolls prams, we used to share dolls prams. We used to share the bike. We'd share anything that we had. We would share it, yeah. And when you were younger, you never had a ball each, did you? Somebody would have a ball, yeah. Somebody. And you just and you always hated it when the somebody who had the ball had to go home first. His mum shouted him in first and he had to take his ball with him. Don't forget your ball, his mother would shout. Mrs. So-and-so, can we please play with the ball a bit longer? No, he's coming in now. It's time you were in bed as well. Come on, come on. So you were sitting on the wall like because the ball had gone home like and you were, well, what do we do now then? Yeah. But nobody cared what you wore back in the day, Lydia. If you wore a hand-me-down dress, nobody picked on you. If you were wearing a second-hand, your brother's trousers, if you were a boy, you're wearing your older brother's trousers and they were a bit big or something, nobody picked on anybody. I never got bullied at school. I got ribbed, as we used to say. I got the mickey took out of me. Teased. We all did. We all teased each other. They'd tease you, and they'd call you names, but that was just kids. But there was no punching, shoving, picking on people. There was none of that when I was at school. There was, oh, we were lucky, you see, we had, the NHS had just about come in. It didn't when I was born. My mother had to pay the midwife when I was born. And I can remember we used to put pennies away each week for the doctor, yeah, because you used to have to pay the doctor when he came. And then the NHS must have come out when I was a kid, little. Because I remember my mother being quite elated because we got orange juice, which we couldn't, no oranges back in the day, no oranges. We got orange juice for the babies. Yeah. No, I had my cousin's. I went to my cousin's 80th the other day. I used to have all of her dresses and her toys and stuff handed down to me from her because she was slim and willowy like me, and her little sister was a bit on the pudgy side. So she could never hand down her clothes to her younger sister. So I was in between them in age. Yeah. Her younger sister's like 75 now. I'm 77 and the elder one's 80. So I used to get handed down my cousin's clothes, yeah. And it was just par for the course. Prams got handed down, cots got handed down. My pram had been all round the family babies before it got to me. You know, you never got, but it sounds like you come from really poor people, but you didn't because everybody was exactly the same. You know, if you went in somebody's house, they wouldn't be bragging, oh, I've had a new sofa or anything like that. Your dad wouldn't allow clothing from other people. Oh, God, we wouldn't have existed. My mum used to knit all my cardigans, yeah. And my auntie used to make my dresses out of dresses that my mum had got from the jumble sale, which is before thrift shops, before charity shops. We used to have jumble sales. And ladies would donate dresses and they may have a stain on them or they may have a rip in them, but they'd have plenty of material, plenty of cloth. And so my aunt would take them home and cut me a dress out of them. So I was always wearing inappropriate patterns, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I would have been 3 then in 1948, yeah. Yeah, no, I had a lovely childhood, really. I don't remember. We must have been poor, but I don't remember. I never went without food, and I always had clothes of some description. I didn't get new things, and I didn't get new toys when I wanted things. I didn't get sweets when I wanted them, but you know, you didn't feel poor. You just didn't because everybody was in the same boat. I think you only feel poor when everybody else around is rich and got loads and loads of new things. I think that's when you feel poor. But if everybody's in the same, you know, I lived in a little village kind of thing. So there was some rich people there. Yeah, there was. But, you know, richer people, they would have a car. And it was like unheard of, really. Oh, they're really rich. They've got a car, you know. Oh, they're really rich. They've got a bathroom. You know, their bathroom's inside. They're really rich, you know. It was like wonderment. It wasn't jealousy like it is today, where people say, oh, I've got to have that. Her next door's had a new sofa. Look at ours. Look at our sofa. She's had a new one, yeah. But well, we were always lucky in food wise because my granddad always had hens. So we always had now and again a chicken and we always had eggs. And he used to grow things on his allotment. So there was always some kind of vegetable or some rhubarb or something. And my dad was a butcher. So we did used to get some meat, but it was never good meat, what I call good meat. It was always like a tongue from an animal, an ox tongue, a cow's tongue, or we would get a bit of mincemeat or something. We never got the good stuff. We never got the steak or the lambs or anything like that. It was always something that was left over, yeah. But but as I say, I never ever felt poor. It was only looking back at my childhood that I realised that we were. And so I was quite happy. You know, I never felt deprived. I can't say that I ever felt deprived. You know, my mum would say, "Well, not this week." So, you know, can't get you new shoes this week. You'll have to make do while next week or something like that. But I never felt deprived, you know. I knew I would get the shoes the week after or the week after that, you know, or you'll have to wait till the end of the month. And can you make your shoes last till then? But they're hurting my toes, Mum. My dad had cut the toe out with a razor blade, so my little toe would poke out. And until my mum could buy me a new pair. But as I say, I had a very happy childhood. Yeah, I'm just sorry that kids today can't have that. That they're not happy unless they've got everything. They're not happy unless they've got a toy box full of toys. They're not happy unless they can go to McDonald's or get the latest PlayStation. They're not happy. And I don't know why they're so miserable, because they get everything they want these days. And why are they miserable? You know, and they go, oh, I'm bored. I need some money to go such a place because I'm bored. Huh. You said you were bored to my mother. She gave you something to do. Well, you can just iron these things and if you're bored, or you could just go and mop the floor, go and clean your room if you're bored. Yeah, you daren't tell my mother you were bored. You daren't. The minute you mention bored, you got something to do. But as I say, very happy childhood. Very happy. Well, we never had phones. We never even had a house phone. The first house phone we had was when we got the shop, yeah. Because we had a phone because it was a shop, yeah. And people wanted to ring the shop up for things. But I had nobody to ring. I didn't use the phone indiscriminately because I had nobody to ring. Because none of my friends had a phone. So I never got told off for running up the phone bill or anything like that because I had nobody to call. Because nobody else had a phone. Yeah. But no, I mean, they've all got the latest phones, and you know, it's all I've got this and I've got that, isn't it? You haven't got it. It's all making people who haven't got as much money, you know, their kids feel awful because they've not got all the latest things, and it's a wrong culture to bring your kid up like that. You know, that they go to, you know, I mean, to me, I would say at school, you just put your phone in a box when you go to school and you don't take it out again, you know, until you leave school. If it's an emergency, they will ring the school, yeah. I don't believe that they should have phones because they're texting awful texts to each other, you know. You know, the bullying and text they're sending you are, everybody hates you and all this jazz, and they're bullying other kids at school with it. You know, I think they should take the phones off them and, you know, so they can't do that, yeah. You know, the number of kids that are getting bullied and they're getting depressed and they're taking overdoses and stuff like that because kids at school are telling them awful things and you're horrible, you're awful, you should kill yourself and stuff like that. You know, what is the world coming to? The children, for goodness sake, they shouldn't be saying that to each other. Hi, Melly. Oh, we didn't have that. We had a house phone, but it was only because we were a shop. As I said, I had nobody to ring because nobody I knew had a phone. Sometimes people would ring me from a call box, you know, to see if we were going out dancing or something like that. Yeah. My son didn't have a phone until he bought his own. Manny, he's 54, so it's a different generation, isn't it, than the kids today. I didn't have a mobile phone until, I'd be about 50, I think. I never bothered with the mobile phone. I said I didn't want one. Anyway, one day I broke down in the car and I walked to the nearest phone box and it had been vandalised. And I was in the middle of no place. And eventually some guy came along and he found out what was wrong with my car and he started it up. And my son was going potty when I got home because it was like the wee small hours. And he's like, "Where have you been? Where have you been?" And I told him I'd broken down. And he went and he was working. And he went and bought me a mobile phone, only a little mobile phone out of his wages, and said, "Here, I'm not being worried about you anymore." I said, "I won't use it. I won't use it." And I didn't really. Just used it for emergencies. He said, "I don't want you ever to be stuck like that again." He said, "That guy that came along, he could have been, Jack the Ripper or something. And you're trusting him. You're in the middle of nowhere and you're trusting him." He passed off to his, I've passed off to my second. The first one, I just had my appendix out and my driving test had been booked, but I'd only had my appendix took out a fortnight before. So I didn't really want to do my driving test, but my instructor said, "No, go, it'll be a good experience for you." So I did fail the first one. I wasn't quite ready. So I passed on the second one. Yeah. Now I don't drive a car. I gave up my license ages ago. Hi, Magali. Gave it up ages ago. I wouldn't feel safe now. There's too much traffic. It's bad enough in my little scooter. I was just thinking of places to go. I thought, shall I go out and have my lunch out tomorrow? But all the places I could think of that were nice for having my lunch, instead of just fish and chips or Weatherspoons or something, they were all quite a distance away. And I'm thinking, I've only got my scooter. Can't do that. Because the family are not coming back till Monday now, so I'm on my own for Sunday lunch, if you're with me. So I can always go to the corner shop and buy some stuff, cook my own Sunday lunch. But I just thought, no, I'll treat myself. I'll go and have a nice Sunday lunch somewhere. But I'm just thinking, I don't know. I mean, down at Cleveland's, there's fish and chippy shops and stuff like that, but I don't know if there's any nice places. The nicer places tend to be like the Carveries, and they're quite a distance out from me in my little scooter. I shall have to think. I mean, today I had Subway. Wasn't very nice. Don't know why I bothered. But I couldn't be bothered. I was waiting for Amazon to come and waiting for the postman to come. So I didn't want to leave because I knew the minute I left, they'd arrive. Because, they give you a time span, don't they, of about 3 hours, Amazon, when they go on a call. So, I mean, I could have gone after they called, but by then I'd ordered me lunch because I was thinking, I want something for my lunch. There's stuff in the freezer, I suppose, but it's in the garage, so it's like an excursion out to the garage if you want to look in our freezer, but it's not in the kitchen. It bugs me when I want a bit of ice cream, that. Because I have to go past the Ring doorbell so they know you're going out there and press the thing on the garage door to come up. Where are you going? You have to take your bowl out and your spoon out, and the ice cream's like a rock hard and you can't get any out. So I'll finish up not eating the ice cream. Now Ian's going, well, there's ice cream in the freezer if you really want it. Yeah, I'll take a crowbar out with me. Because it's solid. It might be soft scoop when it goes in, but it's not soft scoop after it's been in there a bit. It's like a brick. You need a chisel and a hammer. I love a bit of ice cream. I used to love ice cream. I used to keep the little tubs in the freezer when I lived by myself, yeah. But it's probably better for me that I don't, because I'm lactose intolerant these days. So I'd have to get different ice cream than what normally I used to eat. So it's probably as well, yeah. I made the mistake of having a milkshake the other week when I went to the cafe. I thought, oh, I'll have a milkshake, a banana milkshake. Not had one for ages. Never thinking, of course, they use cow's milk, ordinary milk. Ah, I had stomachache all the rest of the day, and I kept thinking, what on earth is wrong? And I thought, I had a milkshake. I did ask them when I went back in, I said, do you do any other different kinds of milk? And they only had soya or oat, and I don't like either of them. I wanted just lactose-free, yeah. They didn't have any. Take me on milk. Can you make me a milkshake with this milk, please? But I can't understand why I'm lactose intolerant when I've never been lactose intolerant in my life. How come at the age of 75, whatever it was, I suddenly became lactose intolerant? Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Hi, Jill. Oh, dear. And how are you today, Jill? Hi, Julie. You have me on the big screen. Oh, God, I look even fatter than I am. Do you have to do that, Jill? Put me on the phone. I want to be 2 inches square. Please don't put me on a big screen. I was watching Denise. Well, I watched part of it before I sort of nodded off. She's got a massive, massive telly in her room. You're putting your project planner together. Do you know I buy a planner every year, and every year I don't use it? I think I'm going to get a planner. Going to write down everything I make, how much will I use, what I did, how long it took me. Lasts about a week, and then I forget to do it all. I've got a big bag of crisps. I've got a grab bag. It's only because I got my lunch from Subway, and you get a big bag. Ooh. A Temu package, one bar. What did you order? What did you order, Lydia? Because you only got one bar. I'm trying not to order any. Trying to work my way through it, not buy any more. That's why my videos are boring, because there's nothing new to show anybody. I can't say, oh, look at this lovely yarn I bought, because I'm trying not to. This hasty. I like Walkers. Walkers. Win £250 every hour. Oh, somebody else might win it, but I never do. I can't win an argument. You ordered miscellaneous knickknacks. Ooh. Back to underwear now. Or as my son insists on calling them undercrackers. Why do you call them undercrackers? I don't know. For a few dollars more. Oh, a grab bag. I don't know whether we have Temu or Temu over here. If we do, it'll probably be more for the postage than it would be for the stuff we were buying. I've got a book coming that I ordered ages ago. It's crocheted book with baby stuff in. I just got a message saying it was on its way. Ah, thank you, Jean. I find it difficult to think of something to talk about, though, because, I've got nothing new to show unless I've got new beads. I said to my friend, I've got some new beads that you can have, and she went, oh, good. She sabotages them and uses them for different things. I ordered some stuff from that other cheap place once. Is it Wish or something? Oh, what a load of rubbish that was when it came. I waited months for it to arrive. When it arrived, it was all a load of rubbish. I spend enough with Amazon without buying any wool. Animal fibre means it's not acrylic. It came off some kind of an animal, but what? They're not selling. Could be a bear, a rat, a cat, a mouse, a dog. No, I only ordered one lot from Wish years back, and it was a load of rubbish. It will be wool of some description, but it doesn't say what kind of animal wool it'll be. It doesn't say it's a lamb or a cow or whatever. Rabbit. It's like when they say mixed fibre, and you're like, mixed with what? 100% mixed fibre, it says on some of them. And you're thinking, yeah, mixed with what? Is it acrylic? Polyester? Because it's not got wool in it, because they would have said. I've still got all those little balls of that wool I got from Daniel. I don't know what to do with it. They're only like 20-gram balls. And I'm like, they kind of don't all go together. And I don't make socks, so people who have these 20-gram balls, those little balls, they tend to make little granny square things in knitting, don't they? Make blankets with them that take about a year and a half to make. Oh, you're a good sewer then, are you, Jeannie? I can't sew. I used to sew things when I was younger, but I don't now. I don't wear socks. That's my trouble. I've got loads of pairs of socks in my drawer. I had a fad about making socks a few years back, and I made about 12 pair of socks. And they're all in the drawer. I've got about 4 skeins of lovely, lovely hand-dyed yarn. Then I've got that gorgeous merino yarn that Daniel sent to me. I just don't know what to do with it. I don't want to waste it. And I don't make little toys and stuff with it. That's just a waste. I wished I was more organised. I'm just not. At one time, I used to have an inventory of what I've got in my yarn. Somebody said, oh, you put it on Ravelry. I went, no, I haven't got the time to put it all on Ravelry. I'm making you hungry. I'm very sorry. I've made a mess of the conservatory. I've got 4 mannequins in there. I'm waiting to go back in the shed, but I'm taking photographs at the moment. Little videos, hoping that somebody will see something and say, oh, I like that. I'll buy it. But I left everything all over the conservatory floor. I thought, well, they're not coming back till Monday. I've got tomorrow to tidy up. I've got to take a zip to the Fleetwood Market. I've tried to get it to sew it in, but it's not going to happen. And my sewing machine's in the shed, and I can't do it by hand. The little dog, she chewed a tooth off my very thick polar fleece, so I've had to get a new zip for it. My friend tried to sew it in for me, but she was stretching the fabric, so it went like that, all wobbly. So I don't know whether I don't know. But the thing was that they're doing the roof on the market of Fleetwood. They're redoing the roof, and I think the bit that this lady who does the sewing is in, I think that's where it is. I'm enjoying being by myself. I haven't been on myself not very often since I moved here. I'm a loner. I love being on my own. I break those ones that look like tiny little safety pins. They break. You open them and then you close them and then they broke. You make them out of really cheap plastic, don't you? I have loads of stitch markers and I don't know where they are. I mean, really good ones like the on lobster clasps and stuff. I've got loads of them somewhere. I really don't know where they are. I hope I haven't lost them. Oh, mine have all broke. Those like little safety pins have all broke. You're sponsored by Temu. That'd be the day. I've never been sponsored by anybody. When it says on your video, are you sponsored by anybody? It's like, no, I wish. I've got a zipper foot, and I dare say I might have a ballpoint needle somewhere along the line. It's been that long since I used my sewing machine. But the polar fleece just keeps stretching. I've got the zip. I think I'd be better taking it into that lady who does the alterations. Otherwise, I'm never going to be wearing that polar fleece ever again. I could have crowned her. She just bit one tooth. But it was right in the middle. And being a plastic, if it had been a metal tooth, I could have clipped it back in again, with like little clipper things, pincher things. But because it was a plastic one, it just wouldn't go back. Could have crowned her. She chewed it off. Arian's going, oh, bless, she's just a little puppy. I just wish she'd have picked one of my cheaper jackets, not my high quality polar fleece jacket. Excuse me. Oh, you're lucky. Nearly all the ones I buy break. And those other ones that look like a little curly thing, they fall out. Well, they do with me. I've got some lovely ones that are on lobster clasps. I don't know where they are. Are you sponsored by Temu or Temu, however you pronounce it? Are you sponsored by them? It's like me. People used to say to me I should have got a commission off Ice Yarn. And I used to buy tons of the stuff, and I was always showing what I bought. Well, somebody from Ice Yarn should send you some free yarn because you're always promoting it. I never got a ball. Never got anything. I did write and ask them, and they said, oh, you've got to have ordered £300 worth of stuff or something. I thought, so my promotion means nothing to you then. And loads of people bought Ice Yarn because they'd seen mine. But I never got a penny off them or anything off them. Not even a free gift of a ball of wool or anything. I did get some yarn from Hobby, but that was only because a friend of mine knew the lady who owned hobby, and she sent me a box of like samples and stuff. I shared them with Sue, if I remember rightly. Because they sent me a lot of single balls, which I didn't really... I made hats with some of them and stuff like that, yeah. It's one of those online things, a bit like Wish. I think they sell all kinds of stuff. I know I've seen a load of videos where people have got these hauls from Temu, but I've never even bothered looking. I'm not in the mood for ordering stuff, and I'm certainly not going to order stuff I don't need. I'm bad enough with Amazon. But at least with Amazon, I order what I want. I haven't used my Addy since I moved here. I've got the two Addies. Got the big one and the little one. My Addy's peculiar, though. It likes the number 4 weight, you know, a bit like Karen Simply Soft. It doesn't particularly... Well, it likes double knit, it will knit, but it looks a bit see-through, you know, a bit meshy. And it doesn't like Aran. I think it's geared for American yarn, number 4 yarn. You know, like the Red Heart or the Simply Soft. It doesn't really like English stuff. I'm not looking, Susan. You're not tempting me. I'm not looking. I'm trying not to buy anything. I'm trying to sell things, not buy things. Oh, energy bills. Gosh, we're still paying ours off. They never told us that we weren't paying enough each month for the energy that we were using. And so eventually they sent us a bill saying we owed 3,500. And we queried it and they knocked it down to 2,500, but it was all back money because they'd never told us that we weren't paying enough in each month to cover the cost of what we were using. I mean, I think they should have told us. You know, they've had 2 years to tell us. So it's 2 years of back money that we owe. So we've got to pay that off now. Besides what we owe for the energy bill anyway. So we're a bit poor at the minute. That's why we've got a duck pond at the front instead of doing the garden. It's rained and rained and rained last night. It just, you know, we needed a canoe last night. So we've got a great big pool. We could have ducks on at the front, like a little swimming pool. But every time we save up some money towards having it done, something happens. And the money goes, whoop. That's why I want to win the lottery. Shall I check my email and see whether I've got a letter from the lottery? Have I got a picture from the lottery? No, I haven't got anything. No, I haven't. So they're not telling me I've won anything. What a pity. Oh, our energy bills are ridiculous over here. Thankfully, it's getting warmer, so we're not putting the heating on. I've just got the fire. It's probably dying down now. Yeah, it's died down now. I'm not putting any more coal on though. All right, Hayley. Good night, love. Yeah, I'm not putting any more coal on. I'll leave it. I've got a shovelful ready to put on, but I'm not putting it on now. It's what, 11:30, so the fan on top of it's still whirring, so it must be throwing some heat out. I haven't done any more on my knitting. Hurting my thumb. I've got part way up a sleeve. Part way up. At least I don't have to put my knitting away and my balls of wool away, because there's no dog to come and snaffle them, and then she eats all my wool, takes it round the garden or something. It'll do it automatically on my computer, and it'll do it automatically on my phone. It'll be the house clock I'll have to. I can't reach actually the house clock, so it'll have to be done when my son comes home. I can reach the clock in my bedroom. It's taking me ages to do, Susan, and it's chunky, so it shouldn't take me ages to do. Should have been done by now. So I'm determined I'm going to finish it before I start anything else off. I really want to start something else, but I put this down and then I didn't know where I was, and it's took me ages to pick it back up again now. So I daren't put it back down again. I'm going to try to finish it. Yeah, it's tonight, I think. Yeah, tonight. But early hours Sunday morning, we want to be technical about it. So next week I'll be on at a different time. I'll be on at the same time. It's just that the clocks will have changed. I can't find the end of my wool. Oh gosh! No. I'm trying to wind my ball of wool up and I can't find the end. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I think America's went back last week, I think. We're saving up to get the roof done because I think that's where we're losing our heat. You know, my family live upstairs and the heat's getting lost, I think, through the roof. Yeah. But, you know, like everything else, we can't afford the money to have a new roof. Yeah. It's Jill. Fibre floozy is a Jill. Or as Shad insists of calling her Blossom. And he fools me completely because I don't know her as Blossom. I've only ever known her as Jill. I think Shad must have gone fishing. He's not been on tonight. He's gone fishing for his crappies, whatever a crappie is. It sounds revolting because we all know what crap is, you know. And you think, a crappie? You know, if somebody said, I made you crappie for your tea, you'd be thinking, oh, yeah, right, okay, thanks. I don't know whether they're good to eat or not. I don't know whether they taste nice. If that other lady was on the fishes, he wants to do his metal. There's people on the beach here with metal detecting. They're probably looking for jewellery or something, or money that people have dropped out their pockets, aren't they? Yeah. I know he confuses me. See, I've never known you as Blossom. I came in on the Jill bit. Yeah, there's people walking along the beach with those. Whether they ever find anything, I don't know. Maybe in the summer when there's more sightseers and more people sitting on the beaches. Although some parts of the beaches around here, you're not supposed to swim because the tide comes round and cuts you off. So, there's signs up saying it's not safe for swimming. It's all right, I think, right into Fleetwood, and it's all right at Cleveland's, but there's the bit in between where the tide is a bit fluky. It comes in on a swirl. So, oh, is that where he knows you from? Yeah. No, he's not been on tonight. He's probably gone fishing. That's where he usually is when he doesn't come in. He's usually gone fishing. I was rubbing that on my fingers before because I had a sore thumb. It was my arthritis. Tina lives in Grimsby and Cleethorpes. I've never been to Grimsby or Cleethorpes. There's so many places in the UK that I have never been to, that I meant to go to visit once I retired, but of course, best laid schemes of mice and men. Oh, you're all right, Jill. As long as you watched them. Give me the thumbs up if you don't comment. Oh, dear. I'm so glad they disconnected the thumbs down. I used to have two people who used to thumb me down within 2 seconds of my video going live. It used to bug me, that. Oh, I've put that for my friend. It's actually got a petal missing. That's the one she said that was what was missing. I know. I can't remember how I used to use my Addy. I can't think what I used to do. Yeah, I really wanted to look at more towns in the UK when I retired, but of course, having to have my back operation and then not being able to drive after that, then didn't happen. I keep saying I'm going to go on these coach trips, where they take you to the hotel, and you get taken different places. I don't know how I will manage. I mean, I'm sure they must have other people who've got a mobility scooter, a little fold-up one. I don't mean the big one. But it's a bit awkward because I have to have a breathing machine, and I'd have to have my suitcase, and I'd have to have my kind of wheelie. So I'd be like loaded up to the gills, wouldn't I? With everything. It's not so bad if it's just 2 or 3 days and you don't have to take a lot of clothes, because then my breathing machine would fit inside the suitcase. So then I would only have 2 things to wheel. Oh my goodness, Susan, I can't remember. It's quite a long time ago, because before I went on YouTube, I actually had a blog where I used to write. Because Susan, the other Susan, my friend Susan, was only saying to me that, how long was it? And I said, well, it's probably gone by now. It's, oh God, here we go, here we go. Will you just bug off? I've just removed him. Yeah, I've removed him now. Not had a troll for ages. I was beginning to think they didn't love us. Oh dear. Yeah, I can't remember when, because Sue was asking me when I started my blog. And did I not feel like going back to it and starting it up again? I said, oh, it's such hard work having to put photos on it and thinking about what to write and having to check it all for spelling mistakes and everything. It took me ages to do it. So that's why I started doing a YouTube, because it was easy to just sit and talk, yeah. So I can't think. Quite a number of years, but I don't know just how many. I'm not one of these people who remembers dates like, oh, this is my anniversary or anything like that. I haven't got a clue. It's many years, yeah. It's the same with Fleetwood. It used to be the Fleetwood, the trawlers used to come in and there was a big fish industry at Fleetwood. And the trawlers have all gone now and there's nothing at Fleetwood anymore. There's no big industry apart from Fisherman's Friend. They're the only big industry that we've got. There is some fish freezing places, but I don't know where the fish comes from. It could be, Susan. I don't know. One of these days I'll troll back through everything and have a look where my first one was. It's quite some time ago. I feel like I've been doing them forever. I think it was after I'd had my spinal op, but then I was 62 when I had my spinal up, and I'm 77 now. So that's like 15 years ago, isn't it? And I wasn't doing them then, I don't think. I think I started doing them when I was home, after I'd had my spinal up. So it could be about 13 or 14, yeah. Fleetwood is the same. Fleetwood's very sort of scruffy now. They do try little bits. But every time, I mean, Mrs. Fleetwood, the lady who owned Fisherman's Friend, she left a fortune when she died to Fleetwood. But you bet your life they'll probably put a statue up or something daft, and they won't use it to bring any industry. We need some industry bringing in. We need some, I don't know, bigger industry to come and employ people. I mean, the only employment we've got really is, kind of um, the tourism industry, but there's not many people come to Fleetwood as a tourist anymore. People go to Cleveland's because it's a little bit better at Cleveland's. Although there's a few shops closed down there. They had M&Co and that's closing down. They had an Argos and that closed down. They've still got a Marks and Spencer's, but it's only the food, little tiny food hall. The Marks and Spencer's in Fleetwood closed down. There's no work here at all, really, apart from, like I said, the tourism industry. Or they work in Blackpool. What is there at Blackpool? It's seasonal work, isn't it? It's seasonal work in the hotels or working on the fun fair and in the shops that are seasonal. I mean, Blackpool does attract some trade during the winter, but not much. Yeah, I mean, I don't go. It's not that far away. It's only a bus ride for me, but I never go. I've only been twice, I think, since I've lived here. We've been through it a few times because I have to go through it to get to the hospital. But I never really go there. That's where the shops are. If I want anything, I would go there. But I tend to buy things online instead of going there. I feel very vulnerable. It's quite a ride for me to get to the tram stop. And then I have to fold my scooter up and get on the tram. And then when I get to Blackpool, I have to get off the tram and open my scooter again, you know. I feel very vulnerable because there's a lot of, I call them panhandlers, you know. They have them in every big town, don't they? I'm not just single in Blackpool. Like, everybody's got them. Where they're sleeping in doorways, you know, with sleeping bags with their hands out and stuff. And when you're on your own, you just feel very vulnerable because you're low down on a scooter, you know, they're sort of above you. It's probably me, the way I feel about it, but I go with my, um, no, if I was, I'd have to take my scooter. You'd have to get the taxi driver to put the scooter in his boot, and it's quite heavy, you know. Yeah, I remember Fleetwood when I was a youngster. Fleetwood was quite thriving because the ferries used to go from there to Ireland and the Isle of Man. But it's all silted up now. They don't. They go from Heysham now because they didn't. There was some big argument about who paid for the dredging, and nobody was paid for this dredging, and so the ferry can't get to Fleetwood anymore. It can't land, and the big fishing boats can't land. There's 4 fishing boats left in Fleetwood now, and they're all quite tiny. And they were talking about redeveloping that little bit, and that would mean that the fishermen couldn't moor up there. And they were saying, well, that's the only place they can moor up, yeah. I'm going to go shopping when I go back to Prestwich. I've got it lined up with my niece. I'm going back to Prestwich for a few days. Then I can, you know, she'll take me to Manchester with my scooter, and she'll take me to Bury with my scooter. And I'm going to hit the charity shops and go to Bury Market, have a look round there, get some fish and get some meat and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. Looking at the nice shops in Manchester, even though I won't have the money to buy a lot of stuff, but I just still like looking at all the lovely shops in the Arndale Centre and maybe get some nice lunch while I'm there. That's what I'm looking forward to. Catching up with a few neighbours. Yeah, Fleetwood is all not so much charity shops, but what are called cheap shops. You know, there's not many decent shops. Cleveland's is a little bit more upmarket, but not much so. There's loads and loads of cafes and more cafes. There's no proper, there's no shops for me. There are shops, there are some clothing shops, there's about 3, 4, but they're what I call, this is me at 77, they're old ladies' shops, yeah. You know, they're not bohemian, boho in the slightest. You know, they're not my kind of shops. I have to shop online if I want anything a bit weird and wonderful. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing if there's anything in the charity shops when I go back. Might even get a pair of trainers from the shops in Manchester. That's why I'm trying to sell some stuff so I'll have some money to go. But so far it's not working. Everybody's going, oh, your stuff's beautiful. Oh, your stuff's lovely, but nobody wants to buy it. I've got hiccups now. Yeah, I miss having a sister. I have a brother, but of course he's passed away now. And my sister-in-law's just moved to London. So I've got one niece that lives in Prestwich. That's where I'm going to. I'm not staying with her. I'm going to visit but I'm actually going to stay at the Travel Lodge because it's right in the centre of Prestwich and it's also on the flat, yeah. I hope so too, yeah. But I'm in the wrong area. I should be in Brighton or somewhere like Glastonbury where they buy more boho stuff and brightly coloured, Granny Square stuff. But Fleetwood is just not ready for me. If I made beige cardigans, I might sell more. I miss Sue. As you know, Sue moved up to Scotland about 3 years ago. She was my best friend, really. Yeah, Glastonbury's very hippie trippy. Yeah, very tarot cards, and everybody goes up this hill thing, don't they? And and Brighton is very, very weird and wonderful and hippie. My niece goes to Brighton a lot, and she keeps saying, "Oh, this is your kind of place." It's just too far for me to go. Yeah, Sue moved up to Scotland about 3 or 4 years ago. She kept telling me that she wanted to move to Scotland, that she loved it up there, and she was. And then all of a sudden, she came one week and said, "The house is sold, we're going." And it was like, "Oh, my bestest friend." I'm hoping to see Sue this summer. But once again, she doesn't have a spare bedroom for me. So once again, I would have to go in a B&B somewhere or a travel lodge or something, yeah. Ephraim does the tarot cards, yeah. I've never really wanted to go into that sort of thing. Um, yeah, never. But Glastonbury is like my kind of place where everybody wears shawls and hippie clothes and flowers in their hair and stuff. And same with Brighton, really. I watch a lady called Alternative Age, and she puts a video out on a Sunday. She used to be on the TV years ago. I mean, she's sort of similar my age now. And she buys all these vintage clothes and stuff from these shops in Brighton. I mean, they are designer clothes. She's got more money than I do, and she's also very slim. So she fits into a lot of these vintage clothes, which I don't. Yeah, yeah. I've watched sometimes watched the tarot cards, but I've never really had a yen to learn how to do it. Yeah, I think you'd have to study it, wouldn't you? You'd have to read books and study it and stuff. I don't think I've got the patience anymore for stuff like that. I've not got the patience for learning new things, although I would like to learn Tunisian. I can do a couple of the stitches in Tunisian, but I cannot get my tension right. If I get my tension right widthwise, it's not right lengthwise. It's okay if I was doing a blanket, which I don't like doing, but if I wanted to make a garment, I can't get my tension right both directions, which is a bit miffy if you're using the pattern, isn't it? I think I gave up rather than keep practicing. I think I gave up, yeah. Maybe I should have continued and tried a bit harder. Yeah. I read my horoscope, and if it's good, I believe it, and if it's not, I don't. I don't say it rules my life, it doesn't. I just like it when it says something good's going to happen. If it says you're going to have a bad day or something, I don't believe them. I'm a fair weather horoscope reader. Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired myself, actually, because I was up really super duper early this morning. I don't know why. Ow, I've got such an itchy back today. I didn't put my moisturiser on. I've got a very dry skin and I didn't put my moisturiser on. My back is the worst bit. So when it gets a bit dry, it starts itching. I even bought a sponge on a stick, so I could put it on my back. But I didn't do it. I just got dried. Yeah, I think I'm tired. The chocolate, actually, it's in here. I haven't had any. It's Turkish Delight, little ones, but I haven't bothered with it today. Yeah, I just really haven't practiced Tina. That's my problem. Sue and I were going to practice doing it, and of course she moved and we didn't do any more on it. I've even got some books, and I even got a DVD or whatever you want to call it. But my new PC doesn't have a place to put my DV on it, so I can't play it. Yeah. All right, night, Jill. I'll be going soon to bed, actually, because if I'm going to lose an hour's sleep, I'm going to be tired, aren't I? So I need to get myself to bed because the fire's gone down now, and it'll start getting cold soon. So I'm going to warm my heated pad up, ready for. I can't sleep without it. I don't think I need my heated mittens tonight. So yeah. Oh, I found a shop in Cleveland that might sell some of my boho crochet. But the lady who told me about it, we were at the Methodist church knitting group. And when she mentioned it, this other lady went potty. And she's going, oh, no, no, you go in there, you can't come here and all this jazz. And I said, I'm not going to join a coven. I just wanted somewhere to sell me boho crochet. So I haven't been, down. If I go show them my crochet, and I daren't tell this woman at the Methodist that I've been, because she seems to think, it's like the devil's brew. And if I go in the shop, I'll be joining the witch's coven, which I won't be. All I want is a place to sell my boho crochet. But apparently a lady was in there the other week and she was saying she wished she knew somebody who did this sort of crochet, yeah? Because she felt she could sell it. So I thought, ooh. So I'll have to go down there very quietly when not tell the other lady from the Methodist church that I've been, yeah? Otherwise I might get drummed out the brownies, yeah? So, yeah, I mean, it does sound like a good possibility, but I think this lady seems to think it's all like witchcraft and God knows what, and if I go in the shop, it'll get me. No intentions. Just want to know if they want to buy me crochet. But like I said, I would never be able to tell this other lady that I've been in there, especially if I was letting them sell me crochet on commission. What's in my shop? I don't have a shop at the minute, Susan. I closed it because Etsy got on my nerves. So I haven't got a web page at the minute. I just keep trying to put things on Facebook saying, like, yeah, this is what I've got. If you're interested, message me and I'll tell you what size it is, how much it is, and stuff like that, yeah. I'm going to make a few more little videos before I put everything back in the shed. I dressed up 4 of the mannequins today and did a little video. So I'm going to dress them up tomorrow in something different and take another little video. And yeah, I posted some on your Instagram, yeah. I've got absolutely shed loads of stuff, and I mean shed loads of stuff, because I used to have the Etsy shop, as you know. But I closed it down because I got fed up with Etsy's policies and what they were charging and stuff like that. They were ridiculous what they were charging. So I keep saying I need a web page, and I never get around to doing it. I'm very technophobic. I just have this blockage where If I think I can't do something, I don't even try, you know, which is a bit stupid, but I don't like failing, and I know I'm setting myself up to fail. Does that sound daft or whatever? I want somebody sitting by the side of me here saying, this is what you do. We do this, we do that, we do the other. Yeah. I need a marketing manager. That's what I need. But without having the cash to do it. Yeah. You know. I don't know why that video was upside down. I filmed it with my camera. It went upside down. It went up. Not only did it go upside down, it went left to right instead of, no, right to left instead of left to right. Weird. So, but, and it cuts off. I don't know why. Everybody keeps saying, oh, you can do videos with your camera. My camera on the phone just cuts off. Does about a minute and then it just cuts off. So there's no way I could do a video on my phone. I can't do it. It just won't do it. It just goes thump up. I think it does about 1 minute or something. And my son keeps saying, you've got bags of memory, you've got bags of things. Why can't you do it on your phone? Because it doesn't do it. You're doing something wrong, Mother. It's always my fault. I'm always doing something wrong, according to him. You're not doing it right. Yeah, well, I'm going to do hopefully another couple of videos tomorrow where I dress them up in something different and do that. Yeah, that was my chair, by the way, not me farting. It went. Yeah, I was laughing at Denise. She was doing a video and she was slowly going down. And she kept saying, "My chair's going down. My chair's going down." She was slowly sinking. My chair wasn't doing that, but my chair was making very rude noises. And it was my chair. I price things how I've done them. I'm not taking any orders, Susan. I mean, I've given up that. A lady did send me an email saying she wanted the cardigan like I had on, and I'd already explained that I didn't have the pattern and the cotton that I'd used had gone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've still got the dream catcher. Yeah, the purple one. It's still in the bag somewhere along the line. I've still got that. But it's not so bad if you're in the UK because the postage isn't too bad. It's just if you're in America, the postage is horrendous. Yeah. Yeah, I decided that I'm not taking any more orders, Susan. I decided that I'm just going to sell what I've got and just leave it at that. Because I was under pressure. You know, people were wanting things at a certain time. They wanted things a certain colour, certain styles, and why isn't it ready yet? And yeah, it was, and it started making me ill. So I decided before I came here that that would be it. I wasn't taking any more orders. So that's what I'm just not doing it. Sorry, Susan. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate it, Susan. Yeah, but it's just a promise to myself that I wasn't going to get myself in that situation of being so stressed. I was just stressing. It was just, you know, people were mithering me. People were saying, how long is it going to be? You've had it for a week or two. I thought you would have done it by now and all this. And then I was sending them out to America and people were trying to tell me they hadn't got them when I'd sent it track and trace and it had been signed for, and the post office was saying it's been signed for, it's been delivered. And lots of people were trying to con me by saying, oh, it hasn't arrived. So I'd be saying to them, well, I'll redo it and send you another one. Oh, no, they didn't want that. They wanted the money. And that's when I knew they were trying to con me. And then eventually I'd say, well, I've been in touch with the post office and they say it's been delivered. And then they're going, oh, yeah, I found it. It was in next door or something. It's amazing how they find it when you say you're not replacing it and you're not giving them the money back. Yeah, yeah. I don't have to size the dream catchers to fit. I actually need more of the bigger embroidery hoops. Is what I need. My friend buys everything cheaper than I can buy it, and I keep saying, "You're on the case. You're on the case, Sarah." Oh, my poor lady in Canada that wanted a jacket that I'd made. She had to wait 6 weeks because of that cyber attack. Yeah. Anyway, I posted it off last week, so I'm praying she's got it because I sent it track and trace. Yeah. So I'm praying she's got it. She hasn't let me know yet, but I don't know how long it takes for things to get to Canada. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going to bed as well, Tina. I'm going to beddy bows. It's gone past midnight. I've been on for 3 hours and a minute, so I think it's time I went to bed because I've got an hour short in my bed tomorrow. So I'm off. I'm going to go. So if you look out, I'll go and put another couple of videos on tomorrow, hopefully, before I have to tidy everything away because I've left the conservatory in a bit of a mess. Never mind, yeah. I'm allowed. I live here. Oh, thanks, Chris. Yeah. And don't forget, it'll be a different time next week because, our time's going to alter. So don't forget, it'll be a different time. Yeah. So Chris usually sends me a message saying, "Where are you?" An hour too soon, don't you, Chris? Right, I shall see you all next week. Thank you very much for your company. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Bye for now.